What's cooking, everybody? It's Door, and today's video is a full walkthrough of the first phase of the 5th expedition in No Man's Sky, Exobiology. We will of course be going over all the steps you'll need to complete the first phase and look at the rewards you'll earn by doing so. I will leave you with some tips and tricks on how to do this as fast and as efficient as possible. And so without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So to start the expedition, you want to select play a game and then select an empty save slot. Then all the way on the right you'll see the community expedition, which will still run for the upcoming 3 weeks. So once you load it in, you'll get the option to initialize the expedition. Once you do so, your character will wake up on a strange planet. The planet's called Planet Ecorald, and it is a cold planet with storms, with active storms. So the very first thing I would recommend on doing is to go to your network option settings. So you could disable multiplayer altogether. I do so because I don't like other players going through my video while I'm recording for you. But the thing you really want to adjust is to make sure that PvP is set to no one. This will make sure that you cannot be griefed by other players. Of course, you might want to tinker around with some of the other settings as well. So once you've done so, I would recommend also to check out the steps you will have to complete. So to complete phase 1, we will have to ride a creature companion for 850 units. We'll have to locate our starship, photograph your companion, launch into space for the first time, leave the initial system for the first time, visit a lush world, encourage your companion to lay, and to reach the first rendezvous. And this will unlock the reality glitch trail customization, which you can of course claim across all your saves. So you might also want to take a look at the milestones of the other phases, as sometimes you can easily unlock this while playing through the game. What I'd like to do next is to make sure that the multi-tool has the terrain manipulator installed. As we've seen, this is a stormy planet, so it's very convenient to be able to dig yourself underground should a storm occur. For this I will need to have the hydrogen jelly and some carbon nanotubes. Of course, make sure to farm these as well as some general items to ensure your survival on this planet. Make sure to gather some oxygen to ensure your survival. Carbon for the carbon nanotubes can of course be found in most trees. And to get some dihydrogen, just make sure to look out for these blue crystals. So once you have enough carbon and dihydrogen, make sure to craft 2 carbon nanotubes and to craft dihydrogen jelly. Use these to install the terrain manipulator onto your multi-tool. So next up, I would recommend to use the analysis visor to locate your starship and mark it. Next up, you'll want to go to your summon menu and select creatures and then summon your companion. Use him to ride towards your starship. Come across any items on their way to help you survive, of course make sure to pick them up. So when you reach your starship, the metal mount milestone will be completed. And of course, if you've traveled 850 units on your companion on your way there, the Paw Prints milestone will also be completed. Claiming this milestone will reward you with 2 unearthed treasure, 50 creature pellets and a powerful mining beam upgrade. I would of course recommend to install the upgrade for your mining beam right away. And of course make sure that it will touch the mining beam for full adjacency bonus. Next up, also make sure to claim the reward for the metal mount milestone. This will give you a teleport receiver for your starship and 2 storage augmentation. Make sure to loot the boxes around your starship. And of course use the waypoint or the save beacon to make a save. Next up, get into your starship to see what needs to be fixed. So the launch thruster needs to be fixed, and this will cost me 50 pure ferrite and 1 dihydrogen jelly. See that the pulse engine is also damaged. That will cost 1 hermetic seal and 1 metal plating. So I went on to gather some more ferrite dust and some more carbon. So after you got a bunch, you can place down the portable refiner, which you should have in your inventory as of the beginning. Make sure to fill up the fuel with some carbon and of course put some ferrite dust into the input to create some pure ferrite. When the portable refiner is done, make sure to extract the pure ferrite. Use this and some dihydrogen jelly to repair the launch thrusters. So for the pulse engine, as I said earlier, we'll need 1 metal plating and 1 hermetic seal. Metal plating can be crafted with 50 ferrite dust. And the hermetic seal with 30 condensed carbon. If you don't have any condensed carbon, you can refine carbon to create some more condensed carbon as well. Would also recommend to go over the technology that you have installed on your exosuit and make sure that they're also touching each other for some adjacency bonuses. And of course just put some into your technology slots as well to clear up some of your general slots. And do the same for your starship. So before we take off, I would recommend to take a photo of your companion, as this is also a milestone in the first phase. Make sure to summon your companion, and while you're at it, of course make sure to pet it and also feed it, as you will have some creature pellets right now. So open the quick menu and go to photo mode. And then create a photo. Best friend's portrait milestone should unlock. And claiming this will reward you with 500,000 units, 100 Corvec words and a standing increase with the Corvec as well. So make sure to pick up your portable refiner and get into your starship and take off. Doing so will complete the liftoff milestone. Make sure to claim it to be rewarded with launch system recharger plants, 2 wiring loom and some solar mirror plants. So what I like to do next, and would recommend doing so in every system you visit, is to go by the space station. Unfortunately, the space station is an empty one, but leaving your starship will make sure that you can use a teleporter to return to this system at any time you would want. The space station will also give you the opportunity to make some money. Make sure to sell the 2 unearthed treasures you've received. So next up, the game wants you to leave the system. In order to do so, you will have to create a warp cell, for which you'll need antimatter and an antimatter housing. Antimatter requires chromatic metal and condensed carbon, and an antimatter housing requires oxygen and ferrite dust. So I noticed that the hyperdrive itself also wasn't installed on the starship yet, so make sure to do so. This will also require some chromatic metal and 5 microprocessors. So when you have enough carbon, make sure to craft 5 carbon nanotubes needed for the microprocessors. In order to create some chromatic metal, make sure to use your analysis visor to locate an indium deposit. Once you found one, make sure to go there. So once you're there, switch to your terrain manipulator and start mining it. So once you have plenty, make sure to place down your portable refiner, fuel it up with some carbon or condensed carbon, and put in some of the indium you've just gathered. So once that's done, make sure to retrieve the chromatic metal and start crafting some microprocessors. You'll need 5 in total to be able to fix the hyperdrive, as well as 125 chromatic metal. So once you've done so, the hyperdrive should be installed. Now you want to create some antimatter for 25 chromatic metal and 20 condensed carbon. And of course, some antimatter housing for 30 oxygen and 50 ferrite dust. Combine these two into a warp cell. Make sure to fuel your hyperdrive and don't forget to pick up the portable refiner. Now before you take off into space, you might want to summon your companion. Of course, make sure to pet him and to feed him if necessary. For me, the option to induce an egg is grayed out because the animal is not in its native climate. Of course, we want to find out what its native climate will be. For this, open the companion register. You see here that the native climate of my companion is a verdant world. So I'm not sure if this is the same for everyone, but a verdant planet is a lush planet, which we will also need to visit in order to complete phase 1 of the expedition. So now get into your starship and take off. Make sure to select the Rendezvous 1 milestone. After doing so, you want to open the galaxy map. So a route will be plotted towards the rendezvous. Make sure to make the warp. So when you warp into the Redisk 8 system, the 2 Brighter Stars milestone should be unlocked. And of course, claiming this will reward you with a warp hypercore plans, 3 warp hypercores and a powerful pulse engine upgrade. Of course, as I said earlier, make sure to go in and out of the space station. You've received an A-class pulse engine upgrade module for your starship. Make sure to install it. And of course, make sure that it will touch your pulse engine to receive an adjacency bonus once again. Get out of your starship in the space station to make sure you'll be able to teleport there whenever you want. And walk up to the exosuit technology emergent to be able to expand your inventory. And while you're here, you could also go to the starship outfitting to expand your starship's inventory as well. So after doing all this, you want to head back out into space. You are now able to also summon the anomaly, so make sure to do so and to get onto it. All the way in the back you'll find yet another place where you can expand your exosuit's slots. You can do this once per system, so 2 upgrades to your exosuit slots in total. As you have just received some warp hypercores, I would recommend to use one to fully charge the hyperdrive on your starship. Make sure that the Rendezvous 1 milestone is still tracked. I would just go ahead and open up the galaxy map. And of course, make sure to follow the expedition route and warp into Etran 7. So here you'll see that the Rendezvous 1 point is on a paradise planet. But before we go there, of course, again, make sure to head into the space station. Once again, head up to the Exosuit Technology Merchant and buy yet another slot. Fly out of it, summon the anomaly, and do the same there. Fly out of the anomaly and make sure to fly to the approximate location of the first rendezvous. Should be marked on your HUD if you have the Rendezvous 1 milestone selected. Land at the approximate location and get out of your starship. As this is a lush planet, the homeworld milestone should be completed now. If you claim this, you will be rewarded with assorted planetary charts and 256 nanites. So here, of course, also make sure to summon your companion, interact with it, and have it induce an egg if possible. This will unlock the next generation milestone. Of course, make sure to pick up the egg and claim the next generation milestone. This will reward you with 10 iron batteries, 10 life support gels, and 1200 condensed carbon. So next up, make sure to track the Rendezvous 1 milestone and use the target sweep to home in on its location. Make sure to check the target sweep regularly to see if you're still going into the right direction. So once you are within 200 units of the rendezvous, you can home in on the signal, though it will be quite hard to miss, to be honest. So once you're close by, the Rendezvous 1 milestone will be completed. And if you claim it, you will be rewarded with 1000 nanites, exosuit expansion unit, a multi-tool expansion slot, and some storage augmentation. And of course, completing this completes phase 1 of the expedition. Make sure to claim it to be rewarded with the reality glitch trail customization. And that's how you complete the first phase of the 5th expedition in No Man's Sky. Of course, the Jetpack trail can be claimed across all your save files, so it's definitely worth completing this phase. Look at just how awesome this Jetpack trail is. Would be a shame to miss out on this one if you ask me, and you have still 3 weeks to complete at least this first phase. I will of course be uploading videos for all the other phases as well, so make sure to subscribe to not miss out on all of them. And I hope to see you in the next one.